And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, for another edition of That's a Bet podcast. You know who it is. It's your boy, Two T's, coming to you live from the Tab Studios. And man, you know I can't start the show without introducing the best co-host in all of podcast land. But y'all know I gotta do something a little special this time. So y'all bear with me. Let me give you some of this heat, okay? Bars. Some people call him Willy J, and some people call him Willy Baby. Since Willy Baby's having a baby, what we gotta call him, y'all? Call him Willy Baby. What's good with your Willy Baby?
Enjoying this quarantine still at the house every day with the family, and ready for the guy to get out here in June. So he's coming.
Hey man, y'all just don't know people. Willy J, as you can see right now, he got his best daddy look going right now. And parents out there, y'all know what we talking about, right? All our parent listeners, you know what look that is. Just, hey, you got to get up and go. You waking up, feel like Groundhog Day, and Will's ready for it, man. I'm excited for you, man. Baby's on the way, June. It's May, bro. It's like less than 30 days.
Flying.
Wow.
Flying, man.
Wow. So I'm excited, man. Will, this is going to be a fun podcast. So guys, Willy J brought this idea to me. And the funny thing is, he actually had this idea, a week before this kind of took off. But Will, I want to let you bring this in for this show. We're going to talk about some NBA stuff here and the great debate. So Will, let them know what we finna go through on this pod, man.
All right, man. So we broke this thing down. This kind of sprung upon us when we were watching The Last Dance with the Bulls. So we were talking about, it kind of reminds you of how good Michael Jordan was. So I thought to myself, you know what? Let's come up with two different lists. We're going to come up with, number one, a list of your starting five. So you field your team, and they're not going to tell us what era we're playing in. So you have the whole library of players to choose from, not knowing what era we're going to take these players and put them in and play them against somebody else's starting five or whatever. So from the beginning of the NBA till present day, come up with your best five. And then number two, we're going to come up with the Mount Rushmore. We know the what do you call it? The national monument.
Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore. It's got four heads on it. What is it? President's heads, is it?
Yep.
Is that what? Yeah. So we got four heads on there. So we're going to come up with our top four players in NBA history. So those are the two lists we're going to talk about today.
Hey, and the cool thing about it, Will, and we were kind of talking about this on our pre-show when we was doing some of our notes and stuff. The cool part is, guys, a lot of people right now are doing their top five. Like their Mount Rushmore, and they're putting a fifth guy on there. Mount Rushmore is really four. Right. And so what that does, it creates that little bit of debate within your mind of, all right, I got my three here. I really have 5 to 6 guys. Who is really going to be your fourth guy? And I think that part of it is going to be really exciting. But Will, before we jump into everything, you know what we do every show. We got to plug ourselves. So Willy J, let them know where they can find you on social media, man.
Group 13 Sports. That's Instagram and Twitter. Group 13 Sports.
Group 13 Sports. That's how Willie says it. Group 13 Sports. Sorry, Will, I had to poke at you a little bit. You guys can follow me at Pineapple Picks 2 T's on Instagram and Twitter. That's at Pineapple, how it's spelled, pineapple, and then Picks, Picks, the number 2 T and S. It's Pineapple 2 T's on Instagram and Twitter. And make sure you guys please follow the show at That's a Bet Podcast on Instagram. Will, before we rock out here real quick, we got to shout out all the fans, all the listeners, man. We got on our Sports Betting 101 podcast that we recently just went through, 6-episode series. We got over 30,000 views combined for that. It was amazing, Will. I didn't expect that much. You know, I see now there's a lot of people out here, I guess, that want to learn how to do sports betting. I had girls hit me up on, on Instagram that never bet. You know, women, younger kids saying like, hey, I never really thought about sports betting like that. And they were telling me some of the quotes that Will said, what's the one where you compared sports betting to, I think you said porn or something like that. I can't remember.
You know it when you see it.
Yeah, you know it
You
when you
know
see it.
exactly what it is when you see it.
Exactly. So it was kind of cool to hear that. So we definitely appreciate you guys, and we can't thank you enough. And I'm actually, we'll work on something behind the scenes, and we'll try to. I'm gonna start trying to create some gear for the show, and maybe we can start sending it out to some of the listeners once we get that tested. But thank you, guys. Keep subscribing. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the page. It'll be right down low here. You can click that button, subscribe, and hit the bell as well. The bell will let you know every time we post a video, and it will keep you in tune with what we're doing. So thank you guys. We appreciate the love. But Will, hey, all right, man, it's time. Mount Rushmore of basketball. But first, we're gonna start with our top 5 all time, any era. Willie J, since you kind of brought it to me, let's go ahead and kick me your top 5, starting 5, any era.
All right, I'm gonna start from the center position and work my way back. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
starting at the 5 out of LSU, I got Shaquille O'Neal. Now, the reason why I say
Diesel.
this, right? The reason why I'm rolling with the Diesel because the front court that the guys that I got behind him, I got two dogs that play defense, right? And
Okay.
Shaq in his prime, he played good enough defense, not as good as he could have played at his height and size, but he was good enough. I think he averaged 2 blocks a game at one point, maybe a little bit more than that. And then he was a dog on the offensive side of the ball, probably the most dominant force we've ever seen in the NBA. So
Yeah.
for me, when you bring his physicality to the table, 7'1", 330 plus pounds in his prime, with some of the quickest feet I ever saw, like that I've ever seen, man. I'm rolling with Shaq at the 5 because he's
Okay.
big and he's tall and he's long enough and he's strong. Nobody can hold him down on the block when he wants to play, right?
Gotcha.
And is in his best shape. At the 4 position, I got Timmy Duncan. Now, the reason why I say Tim Duncan, first of all, let me go back to Shaq,
Ooh.
4-time NBA champion. Now, Tim Duncan, 5-time NBA champion, the most humble superstar I've ever seen. He's quiet, and at the same time, when I'm fielding my team, when I'm putting them on the court, Mike, I'm thinking about the psyche of my guys, my team
Mm.
chemistry. Tim Duncan is a guy who's just going to go in with his work pail, and he's going to go to work every single day. He does not care about scoring. If you throw it to him, he's going to go off the glass. He's going to score buckets. But
Yeah.
he's not a guy that just demands the ball. He was never a 30-point per game guy, right? Because they don't play that kind of ball in San Antonio. So when I put Tim Duncan on at the 4 position and he plays his defense and he's the glue of my team because he's not gonna bitch and
He
complain
is.
about the ball. So
Yeah.
Tim Duncan, that's my number 4. Because at the end of the day, we're putting all stars together. We got to have some guys who aren't going to eat as much as usual, and he's going to be the perfect teammate. At the 3, I'm going with LeBron James. LeBron James in his prime, he's playing. He's kind of like Shaq at the small forward position, except you sprinkle in Magic Johnson as well.
That's
He's
interesting.
physical, right?
That's interesting.
He's physically dominant. You can't keep him from getting to the hole. He might be the greatest passer in NBA history. He doesn't have the stats as far as assists and the volume, but as far as finding guys open, making perfect passes on the money, making the right basketball play, he might be the first or second smartest player in the history of the game, especially when it comes to passing the ball. He can score when he wants to, but in his prime, Lockett, he could guard anywhere from 1 to about 5. Now, the 5 position nowadays isn't as big as it was back in the day.
Hmm.
So you got to kind of take that with a grain of salt. But LeBron James in his prime could guard all 5 positions. So I'm going to bring him at the 3. My number 2 guy, or my shooting guard, I should say, Michael Jeffrey Jordan out of Wilmington, North Carolina, Chicago Bulls. I
Jordan.
love Jordan, my favorite player of all time. First and second, well, he is he's the greatest player of all time in my
Yeah.
opinion. Jordan was a hellacious defender, back in his day too. And I was watching The Last Dance, and I think, and I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lockett. They said at one point he won the dunk contest, the MVP, the defensive player in the year of the
Yep.
year, and I'm not sure he might have won the finals that year. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Yep.
But it was one year where he swept the whole damn thing. I don't think that's ever happened before. But that's just MJ. Struggled a little bit early on, but he always got his. And then once he got the pieces around him and the coach, he reeled off 6 championships and 6 finals MVP. So Michael Jordan is my shooting guard, and then my point guard. This is kind of, and this is just my preference, like I said, this is my team, and we're playing in any era. All right.
Okay.
Now, the first four guys that I named, especially Tim Duncan, LeBron James, and Michael Jordan, all hellacious defenders. Shaq was a decent defender in his own right, right? So on this last guy, I don't care about the defense because he's just gonna play at the top, and I got the three dogs behind him, and then I got Shaq in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm going with Stephen Curry for my point guard. Now,
Ooh.
the reason why I say this is because with my two dogs on the wings, right? We don't know what era we're playing in.
Okay.
If I put Curry at the top, he's gonna automatically demand the floor spacing that I want for LeBron and Jordan to get busy how I want them to. Then I got Tim Duncan who can also shoot. He can go off the glass and he was sort of like a stretch four,
Yeah.
in a sense. So
Yeah.
I've got the ultimate spacing. This is better spacing, I think. LeBron and Jordan, they weren't great perimeters. Well, Jordan was a mid-range monster. LeBron
Yeah.
wasn't. He's come along, but I think I've got not quite the ultimate spacing that the Warriors had with KD, Clay, and Steph, but I've got the spacing that I need. So he's gonna hold the point guard, as far as 30 feet out, right? And then
Yeah.
I let my two dogs on the wings attack, and then we can dump it down to Shaq and get him, feed him a little bit, and then
Yeah.
we'll throw it around to Tim Duncan and let him get what he needs. Stephen Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, right now for me, he's like number two as far as point guards are concerned of all time. Number two,
Mm.
three, and he's probably my second favorite player behind Michael Jordan. I love Steph Curry. So that's my starting five. Like I said, this starting five, I wanted to complement one another, and also we're thinking about any era. We don't know if we're going to play, back in the day. Now, if we played back in the day when they didn't even have a 3-point line,
Yeah.
then that kind of takes Steph out of it a little bit. But I don't know. They could put us in the era where we do have the 3-point line. So I'm just going to rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So that's my starting five.
Interesting. I wasn't expecting Steph. I would say that as far as point guards. I see what you're saying though, as far as crafting a starting five that's dominant. Because Steph Curry, how he changed the game with 3-point shot, that's wild. Shaq is dope. I like Shaq. Timmy is definitely. I'm rocking with Timmy, and I love LeBron. So with that being said, okay. My starting five. I'm gonna start with point guard, and I'm gonna work back. At my point guard position, I have to go with the Magic Man. I had to go with Magic. What he did coming out of college, in essence, how Steph Curry changed the game with a 3-point shot. Magic Johnson pretty much opened the lane for the 6'5" or bigger point guards out here in the world, and how he dominated at point guard. The no look passes, showtimes, how he led the Lakers. What Magic did to the game is just what it is. And my thing is this: if your name is Magic, come on, man. You got to be in my starting five. So Magic is up there. I love Magic at point guard. Two guard, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you. People are gonna think I'm crazy that I even thought about somebody else other than Jordan, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Kobe was nasty, dog. And it's not because, he's not here anymore and all that kind of stuff. Like, I literally took a second and was like, damn, man, I might put Kobe at 2. But you got to go with Mike at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Kobe was a knockoff Jordan. So, in essence, all his skill and game and all that kind of stuff, what he did came from the GOAT, Michael Jordan. So, MJ, 6 rings, every time he went to the NBA Finals, he won it. To me, that kind of trumped him over Kobe when you look at him playing. And the stat that you said, well, I had it down too. The fact that one season you can win All-Star Game MVP, dunk contests, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP of the league, and Finals MVP. No. I think the only thing he didn't win was the NBA Finals that year. He didn't win the Finals. So Jordan at my 2 guard, got to go with that. So far I got Magic at the point, Jordan at the 2. At the 3, oh my gosh, I am a diehard LeBron fan. I cannot lie to y'all, and some of y'all are going to kill me for doing this. But at my 3,
I know what you're about to say.
Oh my God.
You got to do it, and you're feeling the team though. So I think I see where you're going with this.
At 3, I'm gonna be real with y'all. At my 3, oh man, you got me second. At my 3, man, I gotta go Larry Bird, dog.
Oh, you tripping. I thought you was going to go with KD instead of LeBron.
Nah,
But if
I
you're
didn't.
going with
No, no,
Larry,
no.
I'm out on that
I'm
one.
going Larry Legend. I'm going Larry Legend. And I'm going to tell y'all why I'm going Larry. Larry was like the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson before the Steph Curry and Klay Thompsons. And Larry is the guy, like how Tim Duncan's your glue guy. Larry is the guy. I mean, all those Celtic wins and all that kind of stuff. He was the guy, the hard nose, get in your face, knock down the three, make the dirty plays. I really just, I don't know, something about his game to me. With the lineup playing with Magic, Larry would kill in that corner three ball. And with Jordan, you know what I mean? So fielding a team. I feel like if I put KD with him, no, like if I put KD with Magic and Jordan, bro, no, KD and Jordan couldn't exist. Like, let's just be real. If he couldn't exist with Draymond Green, hell no. He is not existing with no damn Michael Jordan and Magic on the floor. So
I feel you.
um and
I got you.
I wrestled back and forth between Larry, LeBron, and Scotty. I was thinking of going Scotty to play
That's good
alongside Mike.
defense. Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
saying? Because I'm
Yeah,
thinking about matchups and stuff. So
right.
I'm going Larry Legend on that, man. You got to go with him. The run he had with the Celtics, and he was the guy on that team full of Hall of Famers. And all of them on the Celtics teams will tell you if they had to take a guy, you know, the best on that team was Larry Bird. All right, power forward position. I'm going against the grain here too a little bit. I really love Tim Duncan. He's a Wake Forest guy, you know, but I think for the matchups wise, Dirk Nowitzki, bro. Dirk Nowitzki, how he hit the one-legged fadeaway. Think about KD. There is no Kevin Durant fadeaway without Dirk Nowitzki. You know, he changed the game coming from Europe. You know, the tall, lanky kid. Now, I tell you this much. He might be a little bit of liability on defense with them knees because he can't get up and down the floor, Will. But Dirk stretching the floor, that's my guy in the situation where I'm going to have Larry out there. I'm going to have Dirk out there. Magic could drive to the hole. Jordan could go to the hole. But we're going to have Dirk and Larry. I got to have my white boys out there, man. Because
Look, I said you got too many non-brothers on your team.
nah,
Man.
Will, look, you put too many brothers out there, you're gonna be butting heads. I tell you that. We're gonna be a cohesive unit. The only one on your team that's gonna be a team player is Timmy. All the rest of them gonna be butting heads. Talking about, man, pass me the ball, man. No, I want the rock. No, Dirk and Larry gonna be out there. They're gonna be just like this, waiting on their look. They waiting to get their shot. No, coach, I'm good. Get it? You know, Larry gonna put it over his head. And Dirk gonna hit his little, he gonna hold it up. So hey, look, I got my shooters. I got my guys that are gonna be matchup problems. A 7-foot power forward that can stretch. And it came down to Tim Duncan and Dirk for me. And I gave Dirk the nod just because of, you know, Timmy's more back to the basket. Dirk can do it all. In his prime, he was the man. Center. Whoo. Center. I love the Diesel. He was my era. No disrespect to you, Shaq. I love Olajuwon. Changed the game with his feet. No disrespect to you. I love Kareem. The best shot in history. The unstoppable skyhook. Y'all saw Willy J do it. But you cannot put a team together, Will, without Bill Russell. You got to do it. Bill Russell is the MVP, Finals MVP trophy. Bill Russell averaged, Will, in his career, 22 points. 15 points a game, 22 rebounds, and 4 assists for a career. So that tells me he's basically a 2020 guy. I'm taking that every time.
What that tells me is that he was 6'10", playing with a bunch of guys that were 6'4". Keep going.
No, not at all. He to me, his size may not have been the biggest, but I think he was kind of Dennis Rodman before Dennis Rodman. And as great as Shaq was and as dominant as Shaq was, I think Bill Russell could have defended him. Shaq had problems with guys that were a little bit more scrappy, you know, got in his face a little bit, didn't back down. He had problems with those guys. So I'm thinking the matchup wise, he's going to clear every board. So Dirk don't have to go down there and rebound. You know, Magic will help him out a little bit, but rebounds are covered. So recapping it, Bill Russell, the greatest Celtic of all time. The second best Celtic of all time is on my team as well, Larry Legend. But I got Magic Johnson at point, Will. 2 guard is MJ. 3 guard, You know who I'm rocking with. Larry Legend. Larry, come on. Y'all do it with me. Shoot that shot. Over the head, 3-ball. Then I got my boy Dirk Nowitzki, stretch four, the greatest stretch four ever played a game. Don't even come at me with no stuff with that. And Bill Russell at the 5. Will we going head to head? What's up?
Man, my team will mop your team. We can put this on 2K right now. My
Man,
team will mop your team.
We need to put it on 2K and play it on Twitch and see what team gonna win.
We
That'll be
can.
fun.
I wish we could. I ain't got the crossplay. We don't have it for the
I
2K, man.
know. Damn, you got that damn Xbox, man. I don't know what Will is thinking. Everybody, please comment him about him having a damn Xbox and the whole world got PlayStations, by the way. Side note.
I always like to zag when everybody zags, man. That's what I do.
Good old Willy J, man. But hey, Will, I think it'll be a good matchup. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna post the both of our teams here, and we'll put it in the comments as well. You guys can comment, see what team you like, and I'll put up a graphic as well, see what everybody thinks on Instagram and Twitter about our starting fives. All right, Will. Quick transition here. Now, this is the real one here.
This GOAT talk right here.
This is the GOAT talk. GOAT, okay? I know it's lamb/goat, but that was supposed to be a GOAT. All right. Willy J, you're Mount Rushmore of basketball, and you gotta go with 4. No 5 or 6. So give me Willy, your Mount Rushmore. I feel like you gotta say it like that. Willy J, it is time for you to give your Mount Rushmore.
Bro, you sound like Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh yeah,
you want to tell me you're top 4 in the NBA? Give it to me, Willy. Oh yeah,
snap it to a Slim Jim. Oh yeah,
yeah. So who you rocking with, Will? Let me your top 4, man.
All right, so as we know, the Mount Rushmore, it only has 4 heads on that mountain. So I'm rolling with Magic Johnson. That's the greatest point guard of all time, in my opinion. Now, going back to what we talked about, in my starting 5, that's just, in any era, we don't know what's going on. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I love Stephen Curry, but Magic Johnson is a better point guard right now than he is. So I'm taking Magic Johnson. That's my first guy. LeBron James is included on this. To me, he's top 2 player of all time. It just depends on what you like. Do you like drinking blue Gatorade or do you like red Gatorade? It's your taste, I think. My third guy, Michael Jordan. And this isn't in any ranking. I'm just naming, the 4 guys. Michael Jordan, in my opinion, is the greatest player of all time. Okay. Like I said, I grew up, I was born in the middle of the 80s, grew up in the 90s, so I watched Michael Jordan. If you ask people, if you ask Trey, my son, 15 years from now, he's gonna tell you LeBron is the greatest. It's all about who you is the greatest during your time. If you ask people that, grew up in the 70s, they're going to tell you this next guy who I'm getting ready to say is the greatest of all time. And so my last guy is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now, let me say this to you. We had to cut somebody out because I wanted to go with 5 just because that's what everybody likes to do for their Mount Rushmore, even though it's only 4. Yeah. This last spot came down to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell. Bill Russell, I'm gonna tell you what kind of got me off of him. I think when he played back in the league, it was only maybe 8 to 10 teams, total. It wasn't that many teams in the NBA or ABA, whatever he played in. And when you go back and you look at that film, man, it looked like he was just a man among boys. He looked way bigger and taller than everybody. And so that's why he was getting, 20 rebounds a game. Same thing, Wilt was in that era. Yeah. Wilt was in the conversation, but Wilt couldn't even beat Bill. Bill obviously was on the better team with the Celtics, but much respect to Bill Russell. I love him. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's the all-time points leader, 6-time NBA champion, just like Jordan. 7'2", 225. Now, he wasn't that big as far as weight was concerned, but he was graceful with the ball. His footwork, the way he handled, or the way he, the touch that he had on the ball. I love Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So I'm gonna recap mine: Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Those are my 4 for my Mount Rushmore.
That's good, man. I mean, you really, and this is the thing I want people to kind of get. I could go right now and debate Will and say, no, that take him off or do that. But in essence, I mean, you're poking holes in, what? You're poking holes in a sponge, right? It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, okay, And
It's all about what you like. What's your
yeah,
taste? You know.
exactly what your taste is, and kind of for me, I tell people a lot of times, well, it's how you were raised. Honestly, like if your parents were like a New York fan or something, like my dad would put Oscar Robertson on his Mount Rushmore. I don't want to put Big O, but Big O was like Magic before Magic a little bit. What people would say, you know what I mean? So one of those type of things. So I like that. I like that a lot. My four on my Mount Rushmore. Number one, I'm gonna start out with this, and I just kind of want to get him out the way because I feel like it's a no-brainer. Jerry West. Jerry West is definitely on my Mount Rushmore.
Logo.
The only player, he's the NBA logo, one like Will said. He's the only player ever in NBA history to win the Finals MVP on the losing team. Let me repeat that. Jerry West is the only player ever in the NBA to win the Finals MVP, and they lost the Finals. So that lets you know how sick he was. He averaged 46.3 points per game in a playoff series, Will. 46.3. And he's not a 7-foot center. He wasn't, I mean, he's 6'5, 6'6 player, right? Jerry West. He was so dominant at his position. They basically created the 3-point line around Jerry West, right? Because he was pulling up deep, all that kind of stuff. So his stats are skewed because the fact that he had the 3-point line towards the end of his career. He didn't have it in the beginning. If he would have had it the whole time, like they talking about all these records Steph and all these guys have, they may not have taken him down because Jerry West was that good. So Jerry West is on my Mount Rushmore. I agree with Will. I think LeBron James is on there. He is one of the top 2-3 players ever to play the game. He's transcended it on the court as far as just sheer athleticism and his skill set and ability. When it's all said and done, you look back on it, he's going to be, arguably possibly the greatest ever. Clipping Jordan heels, right? Number 3. I'm a different breed, man. And I just like guys that, to me, like really, really made an impact not only on their city, the game, but like they were kind of that guy like, oh my gosh, he was a unicorn when he first came into the league, right? One of them type of cats. Will, you looking at me crazy, bro. Who you think it is, Willy J?
I thought I had an idea, but then you talking about unicorn. I'm like, is he talking about Dennis Rodman or something? What is going on?
I'm going to put Allen Iverson on my Mount Rushmore, man. AI. And call me crazy, call me ludicrous, but Allen Iverson to be under 6 feet, to me, was the most dominant under 6-foot player. And you put him in, like, if you put him in Iverson in the old school era, I think he averages 50 a game. The killer crossover, his crossover move that he kind of amped up from Tim Hardaway, to me, was the sickest move. He's quick as a cat. I think his heart, to me, would translate. I think Allen Iverson was a more skilled Isaiah Thomas, in essence, if you really look at his skill set and how he could put up points. I really like AI on my Mount Rushmore. I'm probably one of the few people that would ever do that, but that's just me. I think AI is up there. And then
Well, before you go to the last one, just
Okay.
to chime in on AI, I mean, people can argue and say he shouldn't be on Mount Rushmore, but if you think about it, the way he played the game, you talked about all of his attributes, and then also think about how he transformed the game. You see these guys with all these sleeves on their arms now and full tattoos on both arms. We know who the first guy was that did that.
Yep.
AI. He's the first guy that came in really with braids or cornrows, whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
And then you had a full wave of players after that started doing that. So he started a lot of trends, and he was a huge impact on the court. So you can't argue with it.
Yeah. This is one of those things that, I when we think of Mount Rushmore, I put everything into it, culture, all that kind of stuff. And for me, AI did that of his, in that little window of his generation, he did that and transcended basketball. Same thing with Jerry West, same thing with LeBron. And the last one, obviously, he had to go with MJ, the GOAT, as the top 4 for me. Michael Jordan is what he is. The shoe culture, the worldwide effect that he had on people flying through the air, the athleticism for MJ, and just his will to win at all the time. Like I said, 6 out of 6 on finals. And just a quick side note here. Will, my three and my last one between. So I had I had Bill Russell, and I had Magic Johnson as my three there. Bill for me isn't on that because, like I said, I mean, like you said with the tape with Bill, a lot of times it was like, okay, he was playing against 6'2" guys. I mean, it was kind of weird when he played, and then towards the end of his career, he started going up against Wilt, some of those other cats. The reason I think Magic wasn't the guy. Magic had, I mean, what, 7 Hall of Famers on a team at one point, and that's splitting hairs here. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was a fifth spot, I would have put Magic and AI. But I wanted to go AI just because I think AI doesn't get as much credit and recognition as he should for what he did for the game of basketball. I think a lot of people overlook him a lot. And I'm just one of those people, man. I'm always the black dot in the white room type of cat, Will. So AI is definitely on there. So quick recap: Jerry West, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, my Mount Rushmore, man. So, hey,
Not bad. Not bad.
try to do a little something there, man. So, Will, I mean, with that being said, Will, look, I want to challenge everybody listening, Will. Give us your top 4 Mount Rushmore and then your best starting lineup. So if you guys want to drop it in the comments there, man, let us know who's in your lineups and who's on your Mount Rushmore. Your 4. You got to pick 4, not 5. And this should be fun. But Will, when I post it too, we're going to post this guys on Instagram as well. And we want to try to see what lineups and what Mount Rushmores everybody comes up with. That should be fun. So, Will, you got any last comments about your lineup, my lineup, anything that you didn't say?
No, I think we did a good job with these lineups. I think, like I said, you got a little bit too many non-brothers on your team, but overall, I like it, man.
Okay, cool. Look, hey, if y'all don't like Larry and Dirk, then come holler at me, man. Say something. We'll see what to do. But hey, Will, look, this was fun, man. We got to do more of these kind of debate. I call them endless debates because really there is no wrong answer. It's just what can you prove? So again, guys, Will, real quick, give me your starting 5 and your Mount Rushmore before we go.
All right, my starting 5: Stephen Curry at point, Michael Jordan at the 2, LeBron at the 3, Tim Duncan at the 4, Shaquille O'Neal at the 5. So that's my starting 5 that I would field on the court if I didn't know what era we'd be playing in and I need to assemble a team to play against another team. That's my starting 5. And then my Mount Rushmore, the 4. I got Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Wilt Chamberlain.
Got you. Okay. So for me,
No. Excuse me, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not
Kareem,
Wilt.
y'all about to say, hold on, you didn't say Willie, you didn't say Wilty.
He popped up in my head, but it's definitely Kareem, not Wilt. So let me just
Wilt
recap.
was somewhere smashing somebody.
Right. Kareem, Jordan, LeBron, and Magic. Those are my 4.
Got you. So my Mount Rushmore, I had Allen Iverson, I had Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and I had Jerry West, the logo, as my Mount Rushmore 4. Look, don't be smiling and smirking, Will.
I'm still laughing at the Wilt comment.
Will, so he probably smashing somebody. And then for me, so my starting 5, any era, if you had to have me assemble a team, I went with Magic Johnson. At my 2, LeBron, Magic, LeBron. No, I didn't do LeBron. Magic. What the fuck was my 2?
Oh, you did?
Jordan. Excuse me.
Oh.
No, Magic, Jordan. I got it right here. Magic, Jordan. I had Larry Bird at the 3, Dirk Nowitzki at the 4, and at my 5, I had Bill Russell. Was my 5 any era. So yeah, man. Hey, Will, this was fun. We got to do another one like this again, man. You guys drop a comment, any topic you want us to talk about here. Put it down low in the comments there. Hey, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on the screen and hit the bell as well, man. That'll let you guys know every time we post a video, it'll go ahead and pop it up on your phone and notify you. So subscribe. Drop a comment, drop a like. Hit us up, man. We definitely appreciate the love. So that's Willy J. It's your boy 2T's. That's a Bet Podcast. NBA Mount Rushmore and our best starting 5 any era. That's a Bet Podcast. We'll see you guys next time, man. All right. Peace out.